Thank you. Sorry.
So, do I need to repeat those?
No, no, I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so it's eventually, and you may have understood this, but I'll say it. You want to be able to start at the crown of the head and work down through the body. And as you come to each level, you do everything at that level.
Just all at once.
Well, eventually all at once, but initially
Right.
you come to a level, um, you go around it, you feel whatever,
Okay.
what the first blockage you come to, and you dissolve that one. And if you can dissolve it, you go on around. If there are more on that level, you work on those. Um, but it's um, the image that I um, use when I was first thinking about that is that you can breathe underwater and you're standing in a pool with the water at the top of your head and
Hmm.
the water is draining out. And as it goes down, that water level is the level you're working on. And it
Gotcha.
goes down. So it's that kind of sense that as that water drops, you get to a level and you do everything at that level, whatever it may be.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're quite right. Eventually, but believe me, it's a long way down the road. You're able to not only dissolve everything at any level all at once, but you can dissolve the entire body all at once.
That sounds like a fun feature. Okay.
that's that's um, that's really something you arrive at when you take this practice into meditation. It's not something you would try to do usually in energy gates.
Okay. I guess I'm trying to think how it's not a meditation, but perhaps there's a lot more there than I'm thinking of. you know.
There
Uh,
is.
okay.
There is. I can I can.
Turns out there's a class on that, right?
Well, the meditation class I have now, those people have been in the meditation class. They have done something like 7 years,
okay.
and we have not repeated hardly anything.
Wow.
Sometimes, right now, we're working through a series of very advanced practices where um, I introduce it one week and then we continue working on it for the next 2 or 3 classes, which means a couple of months.
Right.
And then we progress on to the next piece. But you don't complete that in that length of time.
Right. Right.
This is working in right now. We're working into the unconscious mind. So um, there's a lot. There's a lot more to meditation than what we are doing here in Energy Gates.
Right. Gotcha.
Um, and that brings up something that I think people tend to forget is that there's a real difference between doing something meditatively or it actually being meditation. They're not identical.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's like Tai Chi, you can do the Tai Chi form as meditation, but believe me, that's a long way down the road. You can arrive at meditative movement in Tai Chi
Hmm.
within, 5 years or so,
Hmm. Yeah.
but it isn't yet meditation because far beyond that.
Okay. Yeah.
So just drawing the distinction there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
So, so what I wanted to do today was to do a little quicker standing, but also do cloud hands and the spine stretch.
Sure.
So that you kind of get a chance to, if you haven't already, feel some sense of those linking together.
Yeah. No, that sounds great.
And I'm not planning to introduce anything new today in energy gates.
That's fine. I'm too sleepy for it anyway. So
Okay.
maybe.
It seemed to me that this is kind of a good stage to just give you a moment to breathe before we launch into the three swings.
Yeah. Sure. No. And
And the swings start out easy and get very difficult. So it's one of those things. I realized many years ago. Many years ago, probably 25 years ago, I first saw and read about this practice, energy gates.
mm-hmm.
And I was really taken by the swings. And I thought I understood what was involved with them at that stage. And I, for quite a while, used them in a number of classes as part of warm-up.
Right.
And then I really took a class from Bill Ryan, actually,
Mm-hmm.
and discovered that I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground.
Gotcha.
So that was an eye-opening and a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't bad what I did, but it was not what was really happening. So
Yeah. That's
and I think I confused Master Joe's swings with those, and they're not the same at all.
gotcha.
Completely different. Anyway, so I'll kind of talk through the standing.
Mhm.
I'll do cloud hands with you, and I guess kind of talk through the spine stretch. I'd like to have you do 3 of them.
Okay.
And I'm not going to take forever doing them, but
That's fine.
we may not really rush either.
Sure.
So a little bit of both here. So let us begin.
I I don't know why my head wanted to make some joke about lettuce, like tomato or something, but I couldn't think of anything. But I just want to put that out there because I thought it was funny.
Why not? Humor is important. I don't know. Sometimes you need it in order to get through the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what am I doing? That's not what I meant to do. The vegetables threw me off.
Yeah. Excuse me.
So start with feet comfortably together. stepping out with the right and coming into your basic structure and alignments. But very aware of the weight on your feet, centered over the bubbling wells. And the feet relaxed so that they can merge towards the earth. Feel the head lifting, not from Bai Hui, but that point just a little back of it, so that as your head lifts off the top of the spine, the chin doesn't lift. Perhaps even bends slightly forward, opening the occiput. Aware of the sacrum pointing straight down to the earth. Letting the body open and allow the energy to sink. So first, just beginning with feeling that energy flowing downward. Releasing any energy the body cannot use into the earth. And then going up to the top of the head. Beginning to work down through the body, thinking of releasing any place that you come to where you feel a sense of strength or tension, or something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is, or any form of contraction. And if you want to dissolve ice to water, water to gas, letting that energy leave the body and leave your etheric body, which is the only way that blockage can actually be fully resolved. So beginning to scan down, coming to the third eye, and breathing into it, and allowing your exhale to release anything that you feel stuck in that area. And then allowing the energy to move on down to your eyes, and endeavoring to release and relax the eyeballs. And if they let go, on back into the optic nerve, but no further. And then feel down into the ears. And if you can, into the inner ear. releasing any blockage or sense of restriction of the flow of the energy that you feel there. Just exhale and let it go. Then moving down to the occiput, where your neck joins the skull, and release that area. The hinges of your jaw, where we sometimes store tension. And aware of that point where the tongue connects to the roof of the mouth, release that point, that gate. And then release on down the neck into the throat notch. Just being aware of any strength or tension or something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is, or any contraction. And then moving to the right shoulder, aware of letting those secondary gates release, and then the primary. Then moving down to the right elbow, release it. First, all the secondary gates, and then the primary. And stay focused on the right arm. Move down to the wrist, and let those points all release. Exhale them. And then down through the hand and fingers, all the way to the fingertips, releasing all those spaces and joints, all those gates. And notice the difference between your right arm and your left arm. There should be some sense of difference at this point. Then move to the left shoulder and release those secondary gates, and then the primary. The at some point, maybe not today, but you'll be aware that when you do that, that there is a connection into your internal organs, and that they also release. And then down to the elbow, let it go. Secondary, then primary. That's a basic principle. Then down to the left wrist, releasing those gates. And the hand and fingers. So that the two arms begin to feel a little more equal. And then go back, begin to move down the chest, releasing those points where the ribs join the sternum and the spaces between the ribs. Letting all of that open and let go. Allow the diaphragm to relax. Right down to the lower dantian. Then go back to the top of your back and release down the spine. With all the gates where the ribs join the spine to let go. And those spaces between the ribs to complete releasing. Then coming back and moving down into the pelvis. And releasing the prostate. And the anus. Exhaling any strength, tension, anything that doesn't feel quite right, or any form of contraction. Letting that flow away. And the perineum. Release it. Feel your right quad open and let go. Letting any sense of restriction or blockage drop down. And the right knee, the secondary gates, and the primary, particularly the back of the knee. Let the energy flow down through the ankle. Let those joints go. And through the feet. Let that right foot just soften even more and merge more deeply into the earth. Then go back to the left quad. And exhale any sense of blockage or restriction of the energy out. Let it relax and release. The left knee, the secondary gates opening and then the primary. Allowing the energy to flow through the back of the knee. Then the left ankle, release those gates. And the left foot. Feeling the energy release through the toes, through Yong Chuan, the bubbling well, and Shimian at the heel. Then go back up to the top of the head. And both sink your chi and extend your mind through your body. And just feel whatever may have changed. Allow the energy to flow from top all the way down through your feet and into the earth, through your etheric body, if possible. And then opening your attention to where you are and flowing into cloud hands by shifting and rotating onto the left and stepping wide with the right, and then just continuing very slowly first. Just feeling now the energy beginning to move. Aware of the energy coming into the center, into your dantian, and then out. And as it goes out, it goes all the way to the crown of your head, your fingertips, and your toes. The 5 extremities. Keep trying to find the roundness in the movement, aware of the spiritualness of the movement and you and your energy. And shifting the weight all the way onto each foot, but not too far. Really being aware of not allowing tension to develop. Keeping everything very fluid and flowing. Then when you're ready to stop, letting your arms come down and step back in to shoulders width, the quad relaxed a little. And take a moment to just stand and feel. How does everything feel at the moment? Just be aware of where you are and what your energy is doing. And then beginning to go into the first Taoist spine stretch. Being aware of a group of your lumbar vertebra, allowing it to sink and release, and very slightly bend there, but keeping everything above it straight. And then feeling the next group of vertebrae you can concentrate on. And if you need to, dissolving at any point. Ice to water, water to gas. And then release that area, allow it to sink. Allow the energy to sink through it. And then bend slightly forward there. And then focus on the next group. Somewhere around the middle of your thoracic vertebra. Release them. Allow the energy to sink through. Dissolve if it feels that's needed there. And then sink slightly and bend. Keeping the areas above very straight. Don't let the head drop forward. And focused on the top of the thoracic vertebra. Again, feel them release. Feel them let go. Allow them to allow the energy to sink through and flow all the way down to your feet. And then sink and bend that area, keeping the cervical spine still straight. And then focus on the lower half of your cervical spine. Feel it relaxing, releasing, letting go. Breathe into it and let it bend as you sink a little. Beginning to feel the energy moving into your arms and hands. And then focus on the top of your cervical vertebra. Release. Sink the chi. Dissolve if it needs to. And then let it bend. And feel it open all the way into the skull. Feeling the plates of the skull release. And now focus on the front of the spine, the anterior side, keeping those posterior spaces still present. And focus again on the lumbar vertebra at the bottom. And release the front of the spine. Feel it let go and energy be able to flow. And then allow it to straighten as you very slightly rise, keeping everything above it still bent. And then go to the bottom third of the thoracic. Feel that area. Soften it. Let it release. Let the energy sink through it. When you're doing this, whenever you feel a blockage, you can always pause and dissolve. But now straighten that area, rising slightly. Go to the middle of the thoracic. Feel that group of vertebrae. Release them. Let the energy flow through. And then straighten that area as you rise slightly. Go to the top of the thoracic. and feel that area. Release it, let it soften. Feel the energy sinking down. Then straighten that area and focus on the lower half of the cervical. And as you release and soften and let go through that area, feel the energy flowing into your arms and hands. And then straighten that area. Focus on the top half. Let it release. Let the energy sink. And as you straighten it, coming back to your base level, feel the energy open all the way to the plates of your skull. Feel it flowing into your arms and hands. And then again, focus on the lumbar area in back. And allow it to soften and release and to bend. And then focus on the bottom part of the thoracic. Allow it to soften and release. Sink the energy. Release and bend. And then the middle of the thoracic. Let go. Let all the tension drop out of it. Feel it release as you bend. Then to the top of the thoracic, still focusing on the back of the spine. Release. Let go. Allow it to bend and sink a little. And then the cervical. Release. Let the bottom half of your cervical spine bend. And focus on the top half. Release, sink the energy. Let go. And allow it to bend. Feeling it release all the way to the top of the skull. And then focus back to the lumbar in front. Let its energy sink through there. And then straighten just that area and open it. Then the bottom third of the thoracic in the front of the spine. Release, sink the energy. Allow it to straighten and rise a little. Then the middle of the thoracic. Allow it to relax and soften, the energy to sink, and you to straighten and rise a little. Feeling the energy move through that area. And the top of the thoracic. Release. Let the energy sink. Straighten that area. And focus on the bottom half of the cervical spine. In front. The forward part. Release. And then straighten and rise a little. And then focus on the top half of the cervical spine. Release. Let it relax. Let the energy sink. And as you straighten, be aware of the energy flowing even more strongly through the arms and on up through the crown of your head. The plates of the skull perhaps moving a little bit. And then do it once more at your own pace. However slowly or quickly you would like to do it. When you complete, you can just use our regular closure. So, how was that? Was
um,
helpful or
yeah,
not?
yeah. No, it was helpful. Just trying to, I don't know, put words to it, I guess. I there's just like a spot in the spine, like right, uh, in the middle,
Uh-huh.
behind, right at the heart level. Um,
Uh-huh.
it like does not want to move, and it makes the whole part makes it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very difficult spot to get through.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, both
So,
sides. Yeah,
so clearly that's an area that you're going to have to focus on dissolving.
yeah, yeah,
And if it's that stuck, it can take a while.
yeah,
Um, it, that in a way, that's the difficult part of dissolving for many of us is that it's no quick fix,
yeah,
but it's a really good fix
yeah,
uh, if you do it thoroughly. Um, but it can take time. A really strong blockage that's probably been there for quite a while can take a while to work through.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's like when I can get some sense of release. It feels right at the spot where um, energy starts to go to your arms.
I was going to say that's what it's where it sounds like it is. Yes.
Yeah, and like yeah, I if I it always, and then I always feel like I'm there. Like I start to being like, oh, like you should just go on, blah blah. And if I don't, like get even just like the smallest amount of release, it's like like my arms turn into waterfalls. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But what and I'm like, oh, okay, like, but the amount that it released compared to how stuck it feels, and the amount that it changes compared to, then I'm like, wow, it's like really stuck. Like, what would it be like if it really was not there? Um, it's kind of wild.
Wouldn't that be fun to find that out?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So one of the things that you also can be grateful for is that there is also a point up at the uh, top of the spine where the energy also goes to the arms. So the fact that it's really blocked at that point in the middle uh,
Yeah,
doesn't mean the energy won't go into your arms. It obviously does.
yeah, that's interesting because when I hit there too, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, my arms are supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's an exploration.
Yeah,
um, Did you feel better afterwards?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. I do tend to focus on what went wrong, don't I?
No, that's fine. That's what I wanted. That was
um, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I always, I don't know how to just like I'm not holding myself up so much physically,
Uh-huh.
um, but also in a very real sense that there's more space around me mentally too.
Uh-huh.
You
Great.
know, um,
Yeah.
also like psychically, if that makes any sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Because like I don't really know what I mean by that, but I feel like that's the word I should use.
Well, that's good that um because that's that that means that I think that you're reaching into a higher level energy body. So you're going beyond the physical, etheric, emotional, and mental, and beginning to move towards the psychic and the karmic.
Yeah,
And that's good. That's not a bad thing.
it could very really be that I what I'm saying is psychic is like just the next one level up, and I'm like whoa, um, or maybe two. I'm just like I don't know, trying to Kai has a word for qualifying it. When you're
Well,
like too eager to say that you're not doing a thing right.
I think you're doing just fine,
Thank you.
Andrew. And uh, when you intuitively come up with a word like that,
Hmm.
um, more often than not, it's perfectly right.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
so you don't have to feel bad about it.
No, no, no. And then in Cloud Hands, it, it's weird because I feel like going slower, like really slow.
Mhm.
I should be like more aware, and it seems like there's like kind of a spot where like I'm almost going too slow.
Mhm.
And it makes sense that you don't want to like jump into it. But that was just a interesting observation that like I felt
And
like I had to go at a certain pace to kind of feel the in and out of everything.
so that's good. That that's a positive. Um, and that's fine. I was simply doing that, taking
Mhm.
it very slowly to begin with to um, make the transition from
Yeah.
standing to movement.
Right.
And you can go much more quickly into faster movement to find that pace that works for you energetically.
Yeah. I guess I'm. Um. Uh, 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 right. And that makes sense. I guess it's just it feels like moving in water, like in a bathtub when you make waves,
Yep.
and like you can kind of have to like start it and then you don't really need to do anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of had a sense of that, which was I don't I kind of very rarely get that, so that was cool that it was just kind
That's
of
good. Yeah.
a thing. Yeah,
So the going very slowly is more a training tool to give you an opportunity to be really clear about all the parts of the movement you're trying to put together.
right, right.
And so um, once once that feels like, yeah, I'm doing all the movement right, let me get to the energy. Go ahead and go there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's different for everybody.
Hmm.
That's, and it also is different for everybody every day, or maybe every hour or minute. Uh,
Yeah.
so being open to what feels right today here.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Mm, I had, I. That's really hard for me to do. I'm very like, oh, that last time I did it, it was really great. Like it felt like this way. So it should. I spend like the first 5 minutes of anything I'm doing like looking for what it should feel like, or what it
But
used to feel like.
before, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then slowly I'm getting better of like, hey, what does it feel like right now? Maybe maybe it'll be cool differently now.
That's what you want to find. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right. Good. Um, did that raise any questions?
I probably, you know, it'd be like super convenient to be able to do like the remote transmission thing, so I could just like stream my questions. Because yeah,
Well, I have to tell you, I do have one student who keeps a sticky pad with her Tai Chi notes, and she
yeah,
writes down her questions
yeah, yeah,
when they come up.
yeah. That's a good idea.
It is. I've recommended it for years, and almost nobody does it, and that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
But
Uh,
but if they come up, particularly since we're only getting together every other week, write them down or text me or message me or call
yeah,
me or
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. No, I don't feel. I'm never like, oh, I don't want to bother you. You
oh
know,
no, I don't. Yeah.
it's more of a matter of like, oh, what is that? And then I get to the end of the thing, and I'm like, what was that thing that I was wanting to know about?
Well, yeah, that happens.
that yeah. So I don't think so. It's just an
Okay.
interesting. It's very, yeah. I don't know. It's just interesting and very there. So I
This
don't
is
know.
a really good practice. It opens up a lot of energy, and it helps you discover how to connect to a lot of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the swings will take it even further.
Cool. Practice would too.
But
I said, I
practice would
bet
too.
practice would too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that helps.
Yeah.
I I am not putting any pressure on you about that because I know how busy you are.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Been there. I only had two to deal with. Well, you only have two. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully. Yeah. Keep it that way.
um, but two could be a handful.
Yeah. Two handfuls, really. No, especially, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Especially Rowan loves, you know, he's super talkative, but like, I'll be trying to talk to Lyra and help her with something when she's upset. Rowan, no matter what, it doesn't matter. He'll just come over and be like, hey, hi. And he'll just keep doing it until you acknowledge him. But, like Lyra's like just smashed her head or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like whatever, her thing fell apart and she's upset. So, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, no matter the level of upset someone else is, Rowan will just be like, oh, we're talking now.
Well, that may resolve a bit as he gets older
yeah, it's just,
and he recognizes what's going on.
yeah, slowly, you'll be like, Rowan, I'm talking. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Anyways, but yeah, he's getting better.
Oh, good. So,
Okay.
want to do a little Tai Chi?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's uh, let's remember what that is.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pretty much up to the end of the second paragraph, more or less.
What's the end of the first? I thought it was the first.
We're long past the first.
Oh, wonderful. That's like thinking you're, one age and you're younger, and you're like, oh, I won that one.
um, when you go to cross hands in the
Oh,
in the Yang style, each time you go to the cross hands is the end of a paragraph. So
cross hands, cross roads. Look at that.
there are three.
I don't know what I meant by that, but yeah. Cool.
There are um, well, really three times you go to. You don't really, I guess, at the end go to cross hands. There are
Okay.
two, one at the end of the first paragraph and one at the end of the second paragraph. Um,
Excuse
and
me.
that somebody we were talking about the woo style the other day, and somebody, you don't have cross hands? No, no, you don't. How do you know when you're at the end of the paragraph?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a way to know. But so let's do a flow, and then we can talk about whatever issues you have.
Okay. Oh.
To begin Taiji addressing the earth. So spiraling down into the left and stepping out with the right heel, rising into Pung, slowly sinking through Ji and Liu, rising through An, pushing downward, shifting left, release, turn the leg, shift onto it, rotate in and step forward, shift, and ward off left. Shift onto the left and reset the right. Sink into it and rise to ward off right. And continue turning right and left through rollback, sink, turn, sinking back and down, forward and up to press forward. And back and down, push downward, and push downward again. And sit back, turn on the right heel, rotate onto it, stepping around with the left, extend, and then twist step into single whip. Turn on the left heel, right toe, drop the right heel and rise into lift hand. Turn, rise to high pat. Rotate, draw in and step forward and brush knee. Shift forward, reset the right, sit back and play peepaw. Draw in and step and brush knee left. Back, turn, step and brush knee right. And back and turn. Step and brush knee left, and another play peepaw. Step, sit back onto it, and brush knee left. Sit back and turn, forming the fist. Shift onto the left. Kick with the right heel. Shift to elbow strike. Turn to back fist. Stepping through, shift forward and punch. Withdraw and push downward. Sit back, turn on the left heel. Rotate rising to cross hands. Release. Rotate. Turn on the left toe. Shift into the left foot and step to the rear corner. Shift forward and rotate. Monkey. And back. Ward off right. Roll back, sink. Press forward. Push downward. Shift back and turn single whip to the front corner. Sit back, turn on the left heel, shift on to it, step forward with the right, sweep the right arm across, shift into the right leg, rotate, touching the left toe forward, and then turn left to punch, and rotate back onto the right, and step back to repulse monkey. And step and repulse monkey. Drive that monkey away. Draw in, step to the front, shift, and diagonal flying. Shift forward, reset the left foot. Sit back into it and lift hand. Turn. Boom. And step and ward off left. Shift forward and kick and strike. Step and ward off right. Shift forward, kick and strike. Step back and spin on the right toe and kick with the left heel. And then step forward to brush knee left and back. Step forward, brush knee right, shift back, turn, step and sink, and push and punch downward. Turn on the right toe, stepping around, and back fist. And draw in, kick, elbow, back fist, step forward, shift and punch. Withdraw and push, and sit back and turn. And again, cross hands. And what do I have against wave hands like clouds?
And we did this last time, right? It was needle at sea bottom. I think like we didn't do that.
I
That
know.
little
I
right.
I jumped right through a whole section,
Yep.
and I practiced this morning too.
Ah, that's funny. It's
Well, sorry about that.
no, it's okay. No, it was one of those because like I always forget that section too, and so
Oh no.
because like I think it's like needle,
Yes.
and then whatever happens after needle, it's like the same. Like there's two postures that I feel like they're the same, and then like there's like a ward off right and like a little bit, and I always skip it. So I was like, oh, like I'm wrong. Like,
We have you. Oh, there's a brush knee, and that's where we go to needle
mhm,
at sea bottom, and then fan through the back.
that's it. Yep.
Shift, and then we turn back fist. This is the first one of this, which we didn't do,
Mm.
and elbow back fist, and then we go into punch, and then ward off right. That's where the ward off right is,
Right.
and wave hands.
Right.
Ah, for heaven's sakes.
Mm.
So, where do you have questions, or do you?
Um, I I so I don't think I do. I had kept having to reset, and then like so my monkey was like ridiculous because like I got confused about which way I should actually be facing because I kept like adjusting for it's longer this way.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, other than that, I felt kind of like I knew what I was doing. So that was good.
that is good.
Yeah. So
Good.
I think it was okay. I don't think I could do it if you asked me to do it myself.
Well, as you said,
I could get a little
practice
bit.
helps.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's kind of it.
Okay.
um, and well, I look forward to having you outside here.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a good day for today. But yeah.
No, today was not the day.
No.
I thought about it, but
Yeah.
not a good one. So, anyway, say hi to the family.
Sure.
Jane says hello,
Okie dokie. You say
and
hi back.
yeah, and if you have a chance, you could Venmo me
Yep. Remind me how much is it? 3?
240.
240. Thank you. Okay.
You
Yeah, I'll do that now.
okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you find some time to practice.
Yeah, I gotta just make it. Just make it.
Well, it's hard, I know.
Yeah, I gotta give up on trying to find like, oh, when's the best time? You know, like, oh, I don't want to do it because I'm tired. Like maybe then you won't be tired. Like, if you do it, like I don't know, man. For half, you know.
You know, I ran into that years ago because when I was first starting, I went through probably all the things anybody can think about, reasons not to practice.
Right.
And even though I knew already that I wanted to teach it, and
Right.
so, but yeah, I found that amazingly enough, if I would take just even a few minutes and just do a little bit,
Yeah.
it made a difference.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. No excuses. No more excuses.
well,
Hopefully.
you've got pretty good excuses, but
Yeah.
a few minutes here and there.
Right. Right.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too.
Yeah, look forward
Yeah.
to more in person as the weather improves.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Great.
Awesome.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Bye.